Alright, here we go, guys. Another race video. This is the Dixie Classic Criterium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, part of the Triad Crit Series. I think this is the 4th race of this series so far. Probably 13 or 14 more races to go. Racing out here with the Cycles de Oro team. All of us in the red and black kits. Super windy today. It's always kind of windy out of Dixie Classic. You've always got a headwind in one direction or another on this course, and today was particularly strong. So my thoughts for this race going in was sit in as long as possible, conserve energy, and then wait for the right move and really hit it hard. I did kind of figure there was going to be a breakaway that was going to win. That's been the case this whole series, looking for a break. So let's see what happens here. So it was really a tough race. It was hard to get a move established, and I really wanted to sit in and wait and see if someone could get a good gap that maybe I could bridge up to. So when any of these little moves go, you can see 3 guys up the road here. One of them is my teammate. I'm just going to sit and wait and see what happens. If someone gets a good move, then I'll go for it. And I see here Shannon. He's got a great move going here. He's super powerful, and I figure this is a good one to go for. So I jump on, and I actually just told him as I passed, we got a good gap. We're bridging up to these 3 guys, and this seems really promising, although it's super early in the race. This is like 10 minutes in, or even less, maybe 8 minutes into a 45-minute crit. So regardless, I think it's a good move, so I definitely get on the front and try to push it. And we've got strong guys in this move. Here's Mark, also super strong. He's in it too. He's committed. But I mean, all of our efforts are just we never get more than a few seconds. So I'm kind of leery about going all in so early. And then I see I kind of waited for this counter. I knew it was going to happen. I think this is Lee. And he's also really strong. I've been in breakaways in the past with him, and when I see him counter, I figure that's a good move too. So despite being a little tired, I try to push on with him, and we've got the field really strung out and fragmented, but we don't have a significant gap. So I'm tempted to push on and see if we can break something off, but it's just not happening. There's a lot of strong guys in this field, and I think we're rolling into the headwind section now, and it's just really hard to get away. So you can see we've got 5 guys up here, but we're spread out. We're not, working really efficiently, and even though there's a lot of power in front of me, a lot of really strong guys who want to get away, it's just not going to happen right now. Really fortunate to have such a strong team with me. I can really just kind of wait and see. Here's Jared from Newtype Cycling. Shout out to him. He makes great videos. Go check his stuff out. We even talked about getting in a move together, and as you can see there, he looked back at me and kind of nodded like, hey, I'm going to go for it. But Jared, if you're listening, I do not want to sprint through that chicane, so heads up. Next time, give me a straightaway or something. I had a bad crash going through there a few years ago. So nothing, again, this is later in the race, probably halfway through, and nothing is sticking. I mean, this is pretty unusual. Usually there's a break already established and we're still together. And you can see Shannon rolling off the front again. There were several preems in this race, cash preems, and I think he scooped up every single one, which is funny, but he's going for it. And that's the kind of move that he can be successful with. He'll roll off the front and then just sit out there and sustain it. Then here is what I'm looking for. Joshua, young guy on our team. I think this is like his 3rd crit race ever or something. And I talked to him beforehand. He's got awesome power, great sprint. And I was like, dude, just smash and attack, and I'll bridge up to you. And that's exactly what happened. He hit it hard. He's got a huge gap. And I'm sitting back here, and this is my move right here. just looking over my shoulder, making sure nobody could follow, and a bridge up to him. And this is my MO. I mean, this is the only thing I ever do in a crit is bridge up to a break and try to make it work. I don't have a lot of sustained power, so this is really what I like to do to try to shake it up. So I catch up to him. He's tired. He just did a ton of work in the 4.5 right before this, and I get up to him and tell him just to hang on and see if I can establish a gap for us. Right there, he just told me he wouldn't be able to make it, and I told him he could make it. Just sit on and rest. And finally he has enough of a rest where he can pull through, and we've got a decent gap right now. I mean, we've got the biggest gap that has been established so far in this race, and there's 20 minutes left or so it's the perfect time to really make something happen. The field is probably 5 seconds behind us, so I mean, it's definitely not a done deal. And we're working pretty well together, but I mean, we're both tired. I don't have the sustained power like I used to, and I'm pretty exhausted already.
Make them work for it.
But we're holding it right here. I tell them to make them work for it because they've gotten a lot closer. I mean, at that corner right there, they probably had 2 or 3 seconds. It would have been easy for somebody to bridge up to us, but the point was they did not close it down. And I told them, I tried to remind them, like, until it's closed, they could still give up. So that's exactly what happened. Somebody did bridge. I think this is a rider from Charlotte. I've never ridden with him before, but he's super strong. He did a bunch of work before the break happened. I sat on his wheel a lot this race because he was really motivated to just do a ton of work. So he bridged up to me and Joshua actually dropped. So it's just me and this guy from Charlotte. And now we've got a real gap. And now I'm thinking this is the move. If I can hang on, it's going to be me and him racing for first and second. And I start to pull through here, but I mean, to be honest, I'm like over my limit. I really just don't have anything left. And I'm just thinking, like, I just can't get dropped. We've got a huge gap, and I'm pretty confident we can stay away as long as we keep like a relatively good pace. And this guy's so motivated. Like, he looks back at me a couple times and doesn't even flick his elbow. And if you're not going to force me to go through, I'm not going through. I'm tired. I do try to do as much work as I can, but again, I'm thinking this guy seems like he really wants first or second. He's willing to do what it takes. Right there, we just passed the tent. It looks like we got 8 laps to go, which is good because I'm seeing double at this point. Pretty much about to collapse. So a couple laps later on, and right here is where I kind of tell him, like, it's up to you, buddy. Like, there's nothing I can do at this point. Boom, 3 laps to go, and he's still just chugging along. Here's 2 laps to go, and at this point, I mean, 2 laps is like basically 2 minutes. The group is not going to catch us, so there's no way I'm pulling through. I'm confident in my sprint, especially if he's just going to keep dragging me along, and I know he's frustrated right here. He puts in a little dig, like maybe hoping to shake me off, but that ain't happening. So here's us going into the chicane for the last corner, passing a lap rider at the last possible moment, and he's just pulling me right to the line. So I'm just going to sit in and wait for the best time to overtake him, and I really want to be patient here and let him get into his sprint. Like I said, I'm basically like seeing double at this point. I take the right line, start to sprint, and in all honesty, he could have closed the door. I mean, he really should have. He probably could have just edged over a little bit to the right, and I would have been out of it. But that's it. Got him on the line. He was really unhappy about the work I did, which I totally understand. But that's racing, baby.